I'm aware when Wiyaala is not performing, be it abroad or any part of the country, you are back in your community, Funsi. Why did you come back, and was it a good decision to come back to your community?
Every time I get asked, why do I come back home? Sorry, I'm like, what kind of question is that?
Well, some would say your community is too small for, I mean, Wiyaala is a big name. Some would say you should be in Accra, which is a big city, you know, performing or doing other stuff, or living the life in Accra.
It's totally when you when I hear this question, why go home? You said home.
Yeah.
This is my home. Kanangambe ayiring. Good. Why won't I go home?
Okay.
Oh, all because now I'm doing better, so I don't. The question is always like, yeah.
Well, the thing is, your fans, a lot of people,
I understand.
A lot of people say big artists don't hardly go back to their communities to stay there.
This mindset has to delete.
Okay.
If that's the way, like, we really have to get rid of this mindset. Once you make it where you started, especially the home you were brought up, unless that home was or has been destroyed, maybe there must be a really, really good reason why you wouldn't want to go home. Because yes, even though I don't like that question every time people, and I say home, maybe my home is different from others, but it's a question that is a question in itself. Yeah. Why will you ask somebody not to go home because they are successful? Why will you ask somebody to go home because they are not successful? Because these are the two things. When you don't make it, you don't have a problem going back to your various communities to hide. Because there's this perception. But once you make it, everybody wants to leave. I understand. Maybe there's stress, there's pressure. Everybody has different reasons. But my reason is that this is where I was born. This is where the struggle started. And I have been lucky, and I've gotten some opportunities to make life better for myself. I went out there, I saw, I conquered, and whatever I gained, the best place to take it back is that same home that didn't have what I got outside there, that made me struggle at home first, even before stepping out. So these are just little reasons, but my heart, me, I'm a home girl. Everybody that knows me from Funsi knows that no matter how far I go, I always come back home. But we really have to do our best to try and think positive about our various communities and homes. I know the living conditions at various communities for some of us are not the best, but we should always try and be as positive as possible. Because if we individuals, especially those, there are certain individuals that can just make a little bit of change in the communities. Don't be afraid. No witch is going to use you for palm nose soup or lice soup, or turn you into a goat and eat you. Or yes, of course, everywhere you go, we have evil people, we have bad people. They are not only in our various communities. We know. We go to communities and they're like, hey, you are the only one doing this. People put their evil eye on you. But I think if you also have a certain mindset, a certain attitude towards life, and the way you plan and go about things, those things wouldn't stand in your way. Before somebody even thinks bad, what you are and what you do, something changes. And in a way, when I was growing, I also used to have that perception. But as I got older, or as I'm getting older, I've realized that there are just certain things that we ourselves were fighting or fight with inwardly that makes us think about some of the negative things and only the negative things about our various communities. And I cannot blame certain people for not going home. Maybe they do have a valid reason why they shouldn't. So I'm not against anybody who doesn't want to go home. But for me, I've grown a lot. Like I grew up, I became a young woman in my community. So my lifestyle is different from the young man or young woman who wasn't even born in that community. They were born elsewhere. They don't know anything about that community. So it's okay for them to be scared because they don't know anything about that community. They are lost. And they come back to find themselves. I'm not that lost. I'm not lost in that way. So I don't see those negative or those vibe or those dangers and all that. Everywhere you go, there's danger.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You know the show cannot end without having the lioness raw with her guitar. So yes, she'll be serenading us to some beautiful tunes. I am personally a huge fan of the lioness. So yes, I know almost all her songs, if not all, but almost all her songs. So don't be surprised to see me singing along or harmonizing as she sings.
Kanangambe airing kuluku dombo. Kanangambe airing ye kuluku dombo. Kuluku dombo kuluairuo. Kuluairuo. Kanangambe airing ye kuluku dombo. You can join me.
Oh, sure.
Kanangambe airing jo kuluku dombo. Kuluairuo. Kanangambe airing ye kuluku dombo. Kulukudumbu kuluairuo. Kuluairuo. Kanangambe airinye kulukudumbu.
Thank you so much. We've come to the end of the Nwade show, and I want to say a very big thank you to the lioness of Africa, Wiyaala, for joining us today, and a big thank you to you for staying with us throughout this interview. My name is Hatie Nwade, and you've been watching the Nwade show. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.